Welcome to Sure Shot Archery. Anthony here, and today I want to talk about beginner archery equipment and how has it changed, or has it changed in, say, the last 10 years? Well, today I want to start off showing you my original competition bow. This is the second bow that I have ever owned, and it is a PSE Sentry. So yes, this is my first real competition riser. I actually took this to my first tournament. I don't think I shot any tournaments with my first bow. I think that was just practice. My first bow was actually an all wood bow, 3 pieces. This was my first metal bow, and I even have the limbs for it. Oh yeah. But that's where I want to get into this whole thing. So this entire bow, limbs and riser, was $150. So is that still a good value now, or has that changed? So first, some points on this riser. This riser's really short. Great for, a kid like I was at that point in time. Fantastic for a kid. It felt like it was a good price. 150 bucks for a starter bow? Sounded good to me. It was a lot of money at that time. I saved up for almost an entire year worth of school. So, little backstory. If I got A's and B's in school, I would get $50. So, after 3, I guess, is it semesters? Oh, it's been way too long. Anyway, marking periods. After 3 marking periods of the 4, 3 in a row of A's and B's, I had $150. So I put my $150 into a bow because, archery was what I loved doing at that time, and it's still what I love doing now. But yeah, so that's where I put my money, into this bow, and the adventure continued from there. But some things about it is it is really short. So back to it being really short. It's only about a 23-inch riser. It's definitely shorter than a 25. I don't know if it has any official lengths. That's not quite the point of this, because we're not really reviewing this. Other than that, it still had places to put your clicker. It had a single plunger hole. Had a place to put a sight. Place to put a front stabilizer. The limb pockets on it were PSE's own unique design. I don't know if this dovetails some kind of standard, but it's definitely not ILF, and it's definitely not formula, because formula didn't exist. So they just fit in like so, and then that bump you see back here helps lock them in, and then you tighten it down. You can't adjust the weight or anything like that, because you want to tighten these limb bolts all the way down. There was no limb alignment or anything. A very basic bow, but it did the job, and it got me into wanting to really practice more and work into competing at tournaments. At the time, I felt like this was a really great value. I really felt like there wasn't any other options out there. Maybe there was, but then again, my experience, probably being only maybe 2 years into the sport, my experience was very limited. I pretty much just went by whatever my coach said, because I didn't know any better. There wasn't, as far as I know, a variety. Actually, I don't even know if YouTube was a thing yet. YouTube may have just came out. So there wasn't even that resource to try to see if information was correct or what other people's viewpoints on something was. So $150, string, riser, limbs. Now let's fast forward to 2018, and that brings in this riser. This is the Galaxy Crescent, and this riser with the limbs I have, also Galaxy, came in at $160. Yes, $10 more, but wait and hear what like this riser can do compared to the other riser. So 25-inch riser, so a very standard length for a bow. Then on top of that being a standard riser size, it has things like a removable grip, so you could put another grip on this bow if you want. You couldn't do that with my old PSC Sentry. It has 2 plunger holes, so if you want a more forward plunger, or do you want the more standard, you know, closer to the rear of the bow plunger, you had that option. The clicker extension is extendable and removable. You still had you have a one mounting point for your clicker and somewhere to put your sight. We have one hole for a main stabilizer and V-bars, but you also have mounting points on the top and bottom here for additional weight or dampeners. But I would say the biggest thing of all, besides the fact that you can, you know, adjust the weight of the riser, and with this you can also adjust the limb alignment, it's ILF. So Galaxy limbs fit in just fine, like that. But oh, maybe you want to upgrade later on, so instead of having to buy a completely new riser, you can go and just get a new set of limbs. There we go. You can just get a new set of limbs. Pretty crazy, and a real revolution, I would say, in the beginner archery market. Because in the past, I was tied down to this riser. If I wanted to get ILF limbs, I had to buy a new riser. If those PSC limbs broke, then I guess I'd have to find some way to buy them. I don't know if you could buy them individually from PSC. Maybe you could, but you know, whatever. I had no chance of changing them if I wanted to go up a higher weight. On the other hand, everything on here is changeable. You can go with this riser for forever and just keep changing limbs. Or if you want to upgrade your riser, well, it already, you know, takes ILF limbs. So you can upgrade your riser and not have to worry about having to buy a new set of limbs. So to answer the question, you know, has, you know, equipment improved, especially for beginners? I would say yes. I would say the value you're getting now for pretty much the same amount of money. I know it's $10 difference, but with inflation, this is probably the same price, if not more. Yes, you are getting a better value pretty much without a doubt. You have a riser now that's flexible and you can do whatever you want with it, compared to something that really locked you in to a particular format. And as a new archer, you need to have the freedom to do whatever you want. You know, do I want to do Olympic style recurve? Or maybe I want to shoot barebow? Or maybe I want to do something entirely different with that particular bow? This kind of gives you more options, and it's really great to see the industry, you know, move in that direction. It did probably happen sooner than me making this video, but it's nice to see that the industry has improved in the last 10 years. So if you found this video interesting, you know, please give me a like, maybe consider subscribing. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really love sharing my experiences with you know, future archers and just my other archery friends and family out there. Thank you so much, and as always, happy shooting.